some format changes after some, apparently on some prompting from the International Olympic Committee. Well, we're waiting for the introduction of the wrestlers, as happens at the start of every final. And the first of our finals should be between Ritter of Hungary, here's the man, and he'll be fighting Saitiev, the great Saitiev of Russia, in the blue. Well, the wrestling now is fought in two or three rounds, depending upon whether it's finalized in the first two or not. Quite short, only 2 minutes apiece, and the first wrestler to win 2 of those rounds wins the bout, wins the match. Its overall wrestling time has been reduced by about 30%, and they're quite short, the bouts now. The wrestlers have got to go for it. There are ways of terminating the bout, the round, that is by taking one high score of 5 points, one grand amplitude throw up in the air, clear of the mat, over onto the back, or 2 lots of 3-point lower throws, or up high and onto the mat, onto the face. All rather complicated, but basically it's the back that has to touch the ground, and as always, 2 shoulders pinned to the mat terminates the match there and then, although we don't see too many of that. So they go into the tie-up. It's trying to control the head, pull the head down, and look for a chance to go for the legs. Blue, the Russian Saitiev, 5 times world champion, amazing record for this man. Ritter, whose best results have been European champion in 2003 and 2002. Europe, of course, one of the major wrestling continental federations, so a win there is, of course, high quality. Now, these are old adversaries, and it's Saitiev trying to pull Ritter down to the ground, hooking the leg as well at the same time. With this new format wrestling, there are possibly some new tactics that could be evolved. One high scoring throw, he gets round behind, gets his leg behind, takes Ritter down to the mat, gets round behind him. There'll be points for that, should be 2 points for the takedown and getting behind. And now what he'll try and do is lace the ankles, lace the legs, turn him over using the twist on the legs and exposing his back to the mat. There's the ankle lace. This is classical wrestling. The Russian gets 1 point for that. I thought he would have got a point for getting him down there in the first place, but there it goes. More points for the Russian. He got the turnover. He exposed Ritter's back to the mat, and at the same time he took him down to start with. So the Russian now with 3 points, and when it looks like a stalemate on the ground, the referee will stand them up back to the center. This is one of the new rule changes. It's not a case of one man going crouching on the floor with the other man above in the so-called referee's position. It's back into the standing wrestling. It's the aim is to produce more spectacular wrestling for the media and for the public. So it's Russian Saitiev, Bouvaisa Saitiev of Russia in the lead with 3 points, and that's the end of the first period. Saitiev wins the first period. As you can see, it's quite a short time. If a wrestler can get one tactic, of course, if a wrestler can get a point ahead at this moment early on in the round, he can milk the clock. In other words, he can stall a bit and try and maintain his 1 point lead. Not that difficult to do. Produces rather negative wrestling, but he won't be penalized by being taken to the under position on the ground, as happened until quite recently. These new rules came into effect at the beginning of 2005. So we go into period 2 of the final, and it's Saitiev of Russia in the blue with 3 points. Saitiev goes in on the ankle, picks it up, needs to pick the leg up.